Ew, ew, big fish ish. Y'all know what it is. So, on today's show, this AM, we were talking about the difference between Democrats and Republicans, and I made a claim that I had a new theory, an answer to politics. Now, I don't know if it's a solution. I kind of look at solutions and answers differently. Answer is, I look at more of an answer as like, okay, I'm seeing things clearly. And the solution I look at as like, okay, now that I'm seeing things clearly, how do I actually solve the problem? So I'm not saying that this is a solution, but I want to get y'all thoughts. As I was sitting around, having I don't know whether I was driving, and then I got into the house and I was just thinking, I'm like, Democrats, Democrats and Republicans is simply masculine and femininity. Masculine and feminine energy, I should say. Masculinity, femininity. Now, a lot of people, I don't know whether they may get turned off by, which side is masculine, which side is feminine. I'm gonna be honest. The Democrats are the feminine aspect of politics, and I see the Republicans as the masculine aspect. Now, what exactly does all this mean, right? And there's a whole bunch of things to unpack because a lot of people are going to say, "Well, I don't know, you calling me a woman because I'm a Democrat." I'm not saying that. A lot of women may say, "Well, are you calling me, masculine because I'm a Republican?" Not saying that either. But what I am saying is that when you look at the government, let's break down with the government the main difference between government involvement when it comes to Democrats and Republicans. The Republicans are the side where less government. We're good over here. We don't need your help. We're good. I like my freedom, especially now that I'm doing well and winning. No government interference. We're good. Keep it as it is. On the Democratic side, it's more of an appeal to the victimhood and the experience of people's lives, that things that are holding them back, the people that are not, oh, we're good, we don't need any involvement. It's let's get the government involved to make this a level playing field. It hasn't been fair for this particular group of people, and we're going to make sure that we create as level of a playing field as possible. So therefore, we're going to need government involvement. We're going to need the government to get involved in all these things. That's how I see the difference. Now, you're probably wondering, well, what does one have to do with masculinity? One has to do with femininity. There's a few different things to take away from this conversation. And the one thing that I want us to all take away, let me state that from the jump, is that we need each other. We need each other. We are the yin and the yang. The Democrats and Republicans, yin and yang. That's how it's supposed to work. All right. We've been getting tricked into making it as radicalized as possible. It should be a balance. There should be a balance of both rather than polarizing opposite ends of the spectrum. So, how did we get here? And let me be also clear, the takeaway that I want us to know is that as men and women in households, husband and wives, parents, we are best when we're working together. We create the best environments for our kids to flourish when we are working together. There's certain attributes that a man is more naturally gifted to take care of, and the same thing with women. There's certain attributes where women are more equipped to take care of certain things and to take the lead in those different areas. We all talk about DE and I, right? DE and I. It's so important at work, right? But a lot of times we forget the importance of it in a relationship. Men and women, we are different. As much as people try to act like we're the same, we're not. We're not. That's why you got women's sports, men's sports. It's different. It's easy to see from a physical standpoint, even though things have even gotten crazy on this with all this Joanna man stuff going on. But it just is what it is. Let's get back to the politics. Because we've allowed these politicians, and I'm using these words allowed, we've allowed very carefully. The politicians are simply a reflection of us. They are a reflection of what we allow them to become. They see us getting more and more radicalized, then they're going to have a more radical message because they're looking to appeal. They're looking to sell a particular thing that in most cases is not their product, but it's the product of whoever is sponsoring their campaign. Let's not get into that. But they're selling a product. So therefore, they're looking to the market and figuring out the best way to get the market, their target market, to want to buy their product. The customer, we control everything. We're their customer. So they are a reflection of what we allow. We allow them to become more, we allow ourselves to get more and more extreme and to normalize being at polar ends of the spectrum, polar opposite ends of the spectrum, then that's what they'll rock with. It's easier for them. It's easier for them to just get radicalized and extremist, and it's more money for them because you're going to create more hatred. That's why all of the news stations love it. The only people that suffer from it are the people. We the people. We're the ones who are suffering. And it's because we don't understand the importance of the yin and the yang, of masculine and feminine energy working together to bear the best result. Now, why would we not understand that? So I'm making a whole lot of theories, a whole lot of claims. We'll have to do some of the research to validate these claims. But these are just my thoughts. Maybe wrong. Totally open to that. I may be completely wrong. But in my opinion, the reason why, remember what I said, the politicians are reflections of what we allow them to be. The reasons why it's been easy for them to become more and more radical, which means that we've normalized being more and more radical, is because it's so normal for us to not work together as men and women. It's more and more normalized for us to have single parent households. And when we have single parent households, what ends up happening? The mom's bitter, pops is pissed off, or just, said, forget it, I'm out. Whatever it may be, it's because we have not worked together, that we have not experienced the benefits, the success, the progress, the elevation, the upliftment that comes from us working together. Because we have not seen those benefits, or because we're not seeing them in our day-to-day lives, it becomes easier and easier for us to get manipulated into choosing radicalized views based on what just suits us as selfish individuals, rather than being able to see the world and society through the lens of somebody that you work together with every day in order to progress your family. You get what I'm saying? So if you don't work together with somebody every day to where you're able to see the benefits of this side working with this side and coming together to create that balance that we all strive for, if we don't see that in our day-to-day, it's a lot easier for us to get, tricked into pushing for a different way, for us to get caught up in the emotions. As you got the Democrats that are pushing that other side is racist, we are victims, we need to, and then you get the Republicans saying we're not racist, we're standing on principles, we're standing on the foundation, all this. They don't need help, pull them up by their own bootstraps. Oh my God, we need help. How can we need DEI, we need. It becomes easier for us to become manipulated. Their job is a lot easier in manipulating us for their own benefit and power when we don't have a foundation of a man and a woman working together. Because when we're not able to see the results and the benefits from working together, it's easy for them to sell us on a single approach here, a single approach there. When in all actuality, it's on us. It should be on us. We don't need to belong to Democrats or Republicans. And even if you do belong to the party, we talk about them working across the aisle. It's more important for us to work across the aisle because we're the only ones that can hold them accountable to having rational views and solutions to our issues instead of them determining how radical we get and using our hatred and emotions to push whatever agenda they're looking to push. We are the ones we are the check and balance system. We are those. We can't rely on politicians. Remember, not only politicians are like, I know salespeople get a bad rap as a salesperson. Not only are politicians selling you on something, but they're selling you on something that somebody else is pressuring them to do in a certain way that pays their salaries. So I guess that is the same thing as sales. Yeah, they're just salesmen. The issue is the higher they go, the less and less control they have. Why? Because they're given a bag. They're given all these different things in order to, they may start off one way. Hey, I want to help humanity. I want to help this country. I want to make America amazing. But in order to get elected, they realize very early on, some of them, maybe some of them later on, that they start to rationalize the only way I can compete and win in this election is if I take money from this group, this organization, this business. But when I take money from them, now I work for them. Now my priorities shifted. Now I no longer control my priorities. Now the people that are giving me money control my priorities. And we can't rely on, because society right now is at the lowest that we've seen in a while when it comes to just principle and morals, values, and overall integrity. We are at a low. And when we are at a low, it allows them to push us more and more away from each other. And they benefit from that. We're the ones that lose. So, getting back to the initial point, for one, we need to come together and have more successful relationships. We need to learn more about relationships. We need to figure out a way that we can become better informed and learn the benefits of being in relationships, marriages, building our villages. So therefore, we're more likely to provide an environment for our kids for them to elevate and grow rather than have to fix the problems that we've allowed to happen. Does that make sense? Democrats and Republicans, it's masculine, it's feminine energy. Both are required. Both are required for us to succeed with the level of unity that we all claim that we want. What's fair, the golden rule, treat others how we want to be treated. Both are needed. Both are needed. Sometimes we may need the comfort, of the Democrats to say like, hey, this situation is getting a little bit out of hand. Let's intervene. Let's provide a little bit of assistance here. This is getting a little bit, nothing's going to be equal, but this is getting a little bit too extreme. Let's figure out a way to help this particular situation. But we're also going to need that other side, the Republican. Let nature take its course. Don't coddle that person. Don't give them participation trophies. Let them learn. Even if they lose, do not rob them of the opportunity to learn a lesson through that particular loss. Don't give any handouts, right? If I was going to lean to one side or the other as to what would be, matter of fact, I'm not going to do that for this video purpose because I think it's very important for us to understand that we do not need to be fighting on different sides, that we're only playing ourselves. We are fooling ourselves. We are making a complete fool of ourselves. Have y'all ever seen those videos where it's like the politicians, they're laughing and stuff, and they make all the memes? That's exactly what's happening. These people don't hate each other. They're just competing, right? They're competing. Democrats and Republicans, they don't really hate each other, these politicians, the politicians. They're just competing. They're on stage. They know that, hey, the better show we give them, the more money we end up making. Now, some of them may dislike each other, but at the end of the day, it's all sport for them. But what is sport for them is life for us. And then sometimes it's death for us if we don't be careful. And if we're not careful, we are going to allow them to control our thinking rather than us setting the checks and balances on them and forcing them to work together and forcing them to bring solutions that are truly bipartisan and pushing all that DEI. And I don't want to say all that DEI stuff, but unless they come with rational things that are sensible, not one side, not this side, not unless things are presented to us as rational and sensible, we won't subscribe to it. We won't vote for it. We won't support it. We won't back it with our money. We will not engage in it. And once they know that their target market is no longer intrigued or excited about them being extreme, we will force them because they're just going to go where the votes go. So if we let them know, like, yo, we're balanced here, and if you're a Democrat, you're gonna put pressure on your side to come to a common understanding. Same thing the Republicans are gonna do, come to their side to come to a rational, sensible understanding. And now instead of competing and voting for the lesser of two extremes, we'll vote for the greater of the two balanced candidates. Instead of voting for the lesser of two extremes, we'll vote for the better and more balanced of the two balanced candidates. You get what I'm saying? So we got to figure out a way to deal with extremism. And in my opinion, it's the same way that we deal with so many other problems in life. Isn't it funny how when we look at life, when we're always looking for solutions, a lot of times they come back to the same thing. It's like you look at all these health ailments and this and this and that. What does it come back to? Paying closer attention, eating healthier, and working out. A lot of it comes back to the same thing: eating healthier, working out, and having a better mental. A lot of all this stuff comes back to the same solutions. So when I say that it's funny that the same solution that is good for us to look at politics, where it's saying like, yo, this is just like masculine and feminine, where like there's a battle between men and women right now when we should be working together. But if we take that same approach when it comes to our relationships and us not feeling like we have to battle with one another, you feel that you got to take this person's job or step up for this person because they're not holding down that side, and this person's feeling like, yeah, I'm done. There ain't no point in me being here if she going to all this different stuff. You get what I'm saying? All this stuff. The same thing that will fix the relationships are the very same things that will fix our approach to politics. So therefore, we can have a better system for checks and balances and not allowing our politicians to put us in extreme, polarizing opposite ends of the spectrum. We do not win with extremes. We are a team, whether we like to admit it or not. And the best thing for a team, just like my old coach used to say, if we're all wrong, call the wrong play. As long as all of us are on the same page, we're all right. All right. So even if we're wrong, at least we got a common understanding. We'll be all right because we can always figure it out. We can always figure it out by working together. All right. So that's my theory. That's the answer. We'll elaborate, process it a little bit more to get a solution, but that's the answer. Democrat, Republican, no different than masculine and feminine. And when it comes to that, it's the yin and the yang. We need both, and we need both to come together in order to deliver us the balance that we need to be successful, rather than the radicalized polar opposites. So that's my thoughts on it. Y'all let me know exactly how y'all feel, and we'll go from there. All right. I shall see y'all soon. Ew.